Your AC's 20?
Yeah.
Hit, miss. And barely miss.
Alright. How much damage is that each?
No, you only hit 8 from one. Actually, that was the only one to hit. Your AC is 20. The other 3 didn't hit. So 8 damage from the one. One arrow.
So DC 10
gets you right in the neck. Maybe. We'll see if it avoids the jugular or not.
Alright, that's a pass. I still got him.
Okay. This time I don't need to reroll my d20s. I can just throw all 3 of them. I got 2 crits. You don't believe me, do you?
I think you're full of shit, but I'll accept it.
I could turn on the webcam right now and show you the dice, but I'm pretty sure I'd also get my boxer shorts in the shot, and then I would get banned from Twitch.
So wait, you tell me you're gonna hit me with 2 crit hits, and then you're gonna flop your dick out at me?
No, I mean, my dick is hidden behind... I'm wearing my little Jolly Roger boxer shorts with little skulls and crossbones on them.
I see where this is going. I see how this is going. Go ahead.
Alright, we're going to do these attacks one at a time so you can make your con checks.
Yep.
This first one deals 8 damage, necrotic damage. And you lose 4 points of strength.
What?
Whoa!
And because it was a crit... Total of 14 damage, plus the strength loss.
Alright, one second. I need to mark that strength loss somewhere.
Yeah, where did McClain put his that was real easy to... I think he just put his over the features and traits at the top, so he could keep track of it real easy.
Okay. And, so that's another DC 10?
That was the first one. Yeah, so it's the DC...
That's a pass.
That's a pass. Wait, not DC 10, because he did a shitload of damage to you, necrotic damage.
No, he didn't. He did...
No, you'd have to do 22 or more to make it higher than 10.
13 plus... Second one does 15 necrotic damage.
Alright.
So what's your strength at right now?
4.
So if I roll a 4...
I'm dead.
You're dead.
And we have another shadow to deal with.
It's a 4.
Alright, Eldove dies.
I swear to God.
No, he doesn't.
I mean, he turns into a shadow, essentially.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, I had to step away for a minute. I just came back.
This guy sent all his undead after Eldove.
Oh, boy.
And I'm going to double check the shadow entry to see if he dies immediately.
Or if he gets death saves.
Well, he doesn't get death saves.
Because he died from strength loss.
The question,
bull.
The question now is if there's a body to raise.
That's not good.
I have the spell charge specifically for this.
Eldove, I have good news. You're dead, but you're not a shadow yet.
I guess he comes back in 1d4 days or some nonsense like that.
Khalil. And
What's up?
this... Oh, how high up off the ground were you holding him?
I was holding him... I think Nick said 15?
Yeah. Oh, no, it was less than that because I wasn't using Fang.
5 feet.
If you're holding him all the way up at the ceiling, that was 10, but you're holding him further down,
Yeah.
right?
It's
Okay,
5
so
feet.
he doesn't take
5
damage
then.
when he falls, then.
He wouldn't have taken damage anyway, because lol monk.
I mean, I didn't give him that class feature, though.
Oh.
I was pretty selective in which monk class features I gave him, and that one I didn't think would come into play. But apparently it does.
I can't actually cast Raise Dead in the middle of battle because it takes an hour to cast.
Oh, okay.
So just...
You didn't bring Revivify?
No.
The one you made me
Alright,
buy
so
diamonds
you
for?
called out Khalil. Is there something that I need to be aware of?
Oh yeah, you're gonna get attacked by Zambos.
Oh, well fuck Zambos.
Well, we'll see if you can.
Odd.
Oops, I'm sorry. Oh.
He's on the grid.
Yes, he
I
is.
think.
We'll take him off the grid. Alright. Tarin, you're first. Do you have Armor of Agathis up?
No, the arrows ate the last of it.
Oh, the arrows ate it. Okay. That misses. Khalil.
Hey.
Hit and miss.
And you are taking into consideration my at least known AC right now is at a 19, right?
It's at a 19. I just hit a 20. I rolled a 17.
Okay.
17 plus 3 equals 20.
How long does haste stick around? Because didn't Eldove cast haste on me?
I don't think is haste concentration.
Haste is concentration.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, then it dropped as soon as you used telekinesis.
Oh, God. No, no.
Oh, well, I used telekinesis first, actually.
Well, then
This
telekinesis would have
is
dropped.
all overly confused. Like, let's just...
Khalil, you take 3 damage when
Whatever.
this zombie slams its hand into you.
Groovy.
And Arik,
Hello.
you're missed. Zombie tries to break you, but misses.
Alright, so if haste drops, then I'm down to 17 AC.
You are. Orphan circled around to attack him. Eldove is dead. Buttlinger falls to the ground. Okay, gets his reaction back. He's going to spend a key point to do that. That's a shitty roll. 1, 2, and 9. I don't think any of those hit you.
What's his bonus?
Yeah, none of those hit Khalil.
Okay. So I'm guessing block, block, block with my fancy new shield.
Yeah, you are. You're just keeping it in there. Spend a key point for Flurry of Blows. That might hit. I'm trying to keep your AC in my head because I'm
My AC is all kinds of fucked.
pretty sure it's still 16 though.
16?
That's what it would be with a shield, yes? With the +2 from a shield?
Right now my AC is base AC is a 15 because of the damaged armor. +2 from the shield, 17.
So 17. Okay, so he misses.
Yeah. I am tracking that.
So yeah, he just tried to land 4 hits on you and missed all 4 of them.
That's fine.
It's a good shield.
It wasn't actually the shield, it was just the natural AC. But and then he's going to disengage. Back off from all of you.
God. Okay, Khalil, I really am not gonna. I've probably got one more turn in me, and then
Tarin.
I have to go.
I don't think you get this turn.
Now this is very close to done. If Tarin might finish it right here.
Let's do some more star missiles. He's in range.
Yeah.
First star missile. It's an armor class of 25 for 11 force damage.
Nice.
And that's enough. He had 11 hit points left.
Nice.
And you throw the star missile out, and it blasts through him. And his form evaporates like one layer at a time. Like you see his robes flutter away. And then his skin boils off, and then his muscle, and then the skeleton.
Good.
And then, once he's gone, everything else in the room drops. Well, I can't kill the pawns, but
Tarin's sending the other 2 with the shadows, even if it's ineffective in rage.
and the other 2 go towards the place where the shadows were. The shadows evaporate. The rest of the corpses fall to the ground or clatter into piles of bones.
I get to work on Eldove.
Do you have
Should we
Do you
take him out of here?
Do you have something that keeps him from becoming undead? I don't like the looks of those things.
Make a religion check. Khalil, you can do it, and so can Arik. Khalil, you can do it with advantage.
All right, advantage roll on religion of +0 is 19 or possibly a 20. No, 19.
19. You've only heard stories of these creatures before, but then you fought them personally aboard the deck of that boat.
Yeah.
So during the downtime and the intervening time, you made a point to do some research into fighting undead creatures to get a better chance to know your enemy. And what you learn is that anyone killed by one of these creatures, it'll only take a couple of hours before it rises back up as a new shadow. The caveat is there has to be some kind of binding force. Like there has to be some kind of consciousness that brings it into the world. And it looks like Tarin just blasted that consciousness to bits.
Okay, so yeah, I will explain that from what I've seen.
I heavily cast detect magic, start looking over the bodies. Not including well, maybe including Eldoves.
No, Eldove's decked out in magical shit.
Eldove hasn't been hiding any magical shit though, so
None of
you
the
know
corpses
exactly
are
what's
magic.
there.
Well, maybe you should probably get his body out of here before we go about spending an hour casting Revivify.
Eldove,
Raise dead, not revivify.
Yeah, do I see anything awesome?
you do. Well, not awesome. Horrifying.
The afterlife
Carry
is a
his body
bummer.
out.
Yeah, because you're.
I'm
getting eaten by
being
a
serious.
dead.
You really do see stuff while you're dead. Your consciousness wakes up, and you have this feeling like you're aware that you have died, but you don't feel any pain. You feel this sense of calm, and where you're sitting is a very gray place, and your vision doesn't go very far. But if you focus in one particular direction for long enough, you can pierce the darkness and look. And you look around and you feel out with your arms that you're actually inside of what can only be described as a glass bubble. And you touch all the sides of it, and they're ice cold to the touch. And if you focus your vision in any particular direction, you see other glass bubbles around you. You see 3 in particular that catch your eye. And each of them have an occupant. The first, you see Warwinax, the Dragonborn. He looks to be curled up in the bottom of his bubble, sleeping.
I wave.
The second, you see Adric. And Adric is just stumped down on the ground, kneeling down, holding his hands up to his neck. Off in another direction, you see Traeger, the old man who hung himself. And he too is encased in one of these bubbles. And he's standing there looking around forlornly. And you don't get the sense that any of them have any awareness of where they are or what's happening to them, whereas you have a very acute awareness. And that's what you see while you're trapped here in this netherworld. Flashing back to reality.
Scorching ray on the bubble.
Flashing back to reality.
Wait, I want to know what happens when I try to cast a spell on the bubble. Come on.
Nothing happens. The magic... you don't have a body anymore. The blood that gave you your magic is not here.
Okay, that's a bummer.
Also, you don't have your owl. Also, you're stark naked. You don't have your fancy dresses, your fancy robes or anything.
Oh wait, can I summon the owl? It's an astral owl.
Jesus.
Flashback back to reality. Do I have to roll anything for Raise Dead? Is there any chance we can fail this and kill Nodal for once and for all?
Well, he's got to be willing.
So,
I don't know if he's willing.
after spending what seems like, to your mind, it seems like several days of time, but it's impossible to tell because there's really no movement, light, or anything of that nature here. You get the sense. You hear very faintly and very far away the familiar voice of Arik, your comrade at arms, the priest of Osprim, calling you back. And you feel his consciousness reach out inward into the center of the bubble, reaching towards you, as is to offer you his hand.
Uh-huh. Alright, yeah. I will dust off my shirt and I will grab onto
No, there's no shirt. You're naked. You're dangling just down there.
I'm naked?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Was
prestidigitation won't work,
naked
and
as
the
well.
owl won't work either.
It's awful. It's the worst situation you've ever been in.
Yeah, this is garbage. I grab onto his hand and I'm just like, my clothes better still be on my body.
touch his
or
hand.
I'm gonna have a word.
And you feel something pulling you beyond the confines of this glass bubble, pulling you back into reality. And the rest of you standing around Eldove's body, he just sits up very starkly and gasps heavily as the breath re-enters him, just like you saw with the blacksmith earlier this morning. And Eldove, you're breathing very heavily and looking around, and the undead are laying in shambles around you, and there's no sight of the Gith.
I cast prestidigitation on my clothes.
And all the pond scum that was there for hours that you never cleaned off is gone now.
Oh my god.
I sigh in relief, and I look up and I say to Arik, Arik, dying is awful.
I didn't have clothes. Everybody was looking at my tiny, tiny wiener.
We have to talk about what happens after you die. Because I have been lied to.
Is the he's still weak, but there's no like poison in him or anything, is there?
No, he hasn't been poisoned.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
there's not any like
anybody who had
death,
strength drained by the shadows, that'll come back after a short rest. And I'm going to count his death as a short rest for that purpose alone. So he's not coming back at 0 strength and then immediately dying again. That would just be dumb.
That would be a dick move.
Your spell rejuvenated his strength.
And he smells like fish.
Orphan's HP loss.
I'm sure
Let me
is
double
torture
check
for him.
and see when that comes back. I think only on a long rest will she get the HP back.
Yeah.
And then
I'm
anybody
glad
who
you're
was
back,
poisoned,
Eldove.
I don't think anybody actually failed the poison check and lost strength that way, but that would require treatment.
No, that was actually pretty good on our part. As we
You guys were very careful to not get poisoned.
yeah.
Is there anything of note in this cavern?
I walked over to the place where
Khalil
he was
would have
sitting,
been
and I went to.
would have been looking around for anything of value.
Walking over to the island in the middle, there's a prayer mat laying on the ground, similar to the ones that, whereas the prayer mats that were being used at the monastery now were very bright and colorful and have the swirls of Flumph art on them. This is just a very plain brown mat, but you recognize it immediately as a prayer mat as you would use at your monastery.
All right, I'm gonna take this with me so I can burn it later.
Okay.
You want me to burn that? I'll burn it right now.
This is mine to burn.
Is there any discernible change in the roots in the forest that we can gather, or that we can sense?
Not immediately, no.
How about after the hour?
Is the
I mean, you guys have been down here for an hour now, so everybody except Arik can have the benefit of a short rest. Because it took him an hour to cast that spell.
Yeah.
I'm just talking to Orphan.
And I mean, there's no more dungeon, so we don't have to worry about rests for the rest of the session anyway.
We are done with dungeon.
Orphan, I realize you were both monks, but on the counterpoint, he did kill me.
technically the shadows killed you. He just helped.
You can at least let me burn half of it.
You can burn it. You
Is
can
the
burn
body
his body
still
if you
there?
want.
No, the body evaporated one layer at a time and was blasted out of existence.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing left of this and actually, this is the first villain I built from scratch, not using the character creation rules. What I did is I took the Death Knight out of the book, applied the stats from the Githzerai Zerth, and then just threw some monk class features on top of it.
Nice.
And then I gave him legendary actions on top of that.
So that's where he was crapping out undead from?
The way legendary actions work, I think this is new to 5e. 4e didn't have legendary actions, did it?
No.
No, this is 5e thing.
A monster with legendary actions gets 3 legendary action points, and those replenish every one of its turns. And he has 3. For 2 of those points, he can raise all the undead within 60 feet of him, which involved all the undead in this room. For 1 of those points, he can regain his spent reaction. So if he uses a reaction to deflect missiles or anything like that, he can regain that reaction. One of which was shield, which is why his AC was so high.
Nice. Yeah,
and the third one, for 1 action, he can see invisible.
I'm bummed because my plan wouldn't have worked.
Which one?
I was gonna put him underneath the lake.
Oh, well no, he wouldn't have drowned him, but holding him in place, letting everybody else pummel him, was an excellent plan, which is exactly why he focused fire on you.
You can't cast spells if you can't breathe, asshole.
I just want, anybody who complains that 5e has terrible combat spells, and I've seen this complaint everywhere, needs to watch this session and see how Nodal used telekinesis repeatedly.
Badass. Yeah, no, that was badass.
No, if Nodal was going to hold him over the water, I was going to raise the fucking water and try to drown him.
Yeah.
He was undead. You couldn't have drowned him.
Okay.
So
to be fair, Tarin cast a spell when he couldn't breathe this session, so it happens.
No, but I didn't actually leave him the Death Knight spellcasting abilities because that would have been ridiculous.
Yeah, that would have been kind of crazy.
He has the innate spellcasting, which is actually psionics from the Githzerai Zerth, which is where that initial it's called Phantasmal Killer comes from.
Oh, that's Phantasmal Killer.
Phantasmal Killer is psionics.
It is what a Gith uses, because that's the source of his magic. Because 5th edition doesn't have psionics yet. So all of the psionic monsters, they give them spellcasting abilities, and they just say, okay, well, these are psionic. These aren't magical in nature. That's why you can't counterspell it, because it wasn't a magic spell.
Okay.
So, no, he didn't have any kind of magic spell. I'm sorry I had to put you through a whole dungeon where you're not very effective, Nodal. I'll set the next one in the ice world. I don't know if you
saw when I had that water elemental and I just put him in the fucking sky.
That was pretty good.
So we worked out that Nodal can push it up 60 feet, and then I can hit it with 3 star missiles and juggle it up to 90 and then let it fall.
Yeah. It's a wombo combo.
I enjoyed being hasted again, which Nodal normally never has spell charges to do. he's always got something better to do with charges.
Yeah, he's always like, fireball, lasers, beam! Ah!
So, I know that McDohl's leaving in like 2 seconds, so I'm going to ask him, before anybody else, what do you do during your downtime? Because the rest of these guys, I mean, we're going to continue for just a little bit longer, just to wrap up everything.
I would probably end up checking in with the blacksmith, making sure he's okay.
Yeah, well, he's still in recovery. They've got him up in the quarters. He's recovering.
Oh, they took him from his home up there up to the monastery.
I thought you guys walked him up there and told him to rest.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Or telekinesis him up there or whatever. let him ride the floating disc. So what about the rest of you guys? What are you doing?
I want to check out some of the things that we didn't do in this forest.
Okay, so I
want
to force back out.
Bring some.
I want to. Is there anything in the water here that we can see, like more treasure?
No, it's not very deep.
Okay.
Then Khalil is here, but he is not here.
And looking at the island where the prayer mat was, after the full hour has passed, and after you guys have spent some time looking around the inside of this cave, you can see where the water is lapping up around the sides of the island, where it's become more clear. Like the sickness is draining away from it around the center of that small island.
Okay. I would like to get some axes and come back to that stump with the silver thing in it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what was up with that? We didn't solve that mystery.
Well, we don't have to... Let's at least try a couple things before we axe it.
It's like, hey, Stump, let me axe you something.
Yeah.
We can borrow some from the ranger, I'm sure.
So do I want to get the forest table back out, or do you guys want to poke around this cave, or?
Yeah, well, first we poke
here
around the cave.
bit.
Like, do we see anything?
Not unless you're interested in human remains.
Is it? Do we have any idea who these people were?
There are no other. I mean, there are some scraps of cloth on some of the zombies, and each of the skeletons had a crude short sword and short bow. But the origins of these weapons, you have no idea. There's really no way to identify who they were. They're nondescript NPC monsters that I threw in to spice the boss fight up.
Just to give something Arik a waste his turn again on. They're not dead! Ah, they're all back.
Oh, that was so fun for me.
I know it was.
He had fewer shields that round, so it wasn't a total loss.
I'll be honest, I put the skeletons in with ranged weapons specifically to break Nodal's concentration when he started doing crazy shit.
Oh, I thought it was specifically so they wouldn't die to armor of Agathis.
I really wish that you had that armor of Agathis would have procced against that water elemental. You know how great that would have been?
Yeah.
Because it actually freezes. It freezes them.
Oh, nice.
Any source of cold damage freezes the water elemental for 1 turn, so you would have been encased in solid ice. For the turn. I just imagine that Tarin would spend that 6 or 8 seconds sitting there saying, "I'm never casting this fucking spell again." This is the worst.
See, I see Tarin as the kind of person who'd go, "Man, that was an interesting reaction. I wonder if that would happen if I did it again."
Yeah, no, that's pretty much Tarin.
Okay. So, you guys want me to get the forest table back out, yes?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Then I will do that.
So when you guys can poke around with it, but Tarin's going back to the cabin to get a couple axes.
But
I'm just going to mass move everything from the table.
Okay.
Alright, can you give us a quick rundown on interesting shit?
Well, it's like go number by number what all you saw?
Yeah.
I can absolutely do that.
Number one is skip numbers that aren't interesting.
Number 1 where you entered is where you saw the 4 statues. Mm-hmm. Number 2 is where you saw the bonfire where you guys found that stick. Number 3 had 3 boulders in it that turned out to not be boulders. Number 4... That's where you fought the plant elementals. Number 5 is the hangman's tree. Number 6 was a large moss-colored covered boulder, which Tarin shaved. Number 7 was the pool where you found the water elementals. Number 8 was where you found the gold coin on the ground. Number
That's
9
my favorite
was
part of this adventure. The gold coin, where we just freaked out about the gold coin. Detect
No,
magic on the gold coin. and I
I'm
knew that's where you
positive that
put
there is something near that gold coin, and you guys were just so stubborn that you wouldn't go near that fucking gold coin.
Number 9 was the carefully trimmed area with the like old hedge maze. Number 10 was the lonely stump with the silver inlet. Number 11 was the petrified tree. Number 12 was where you fought the wraith. That's where the boar is silently rotting away. Number 13 is the black pudding swamp. And number 14 is the center tree, which was the entrance to the cave.
All right, go grab that axe, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna get 2 axes, one for me, one for Khalil.
Go
Orphan's
grab
gonna
that.
go-
There are woodsman's
grab-
axes right there in the ranger's hut. I mean, you find those
Yeah,
very
exactly.
nearby.
That's my
In the
idea.
meantime, I'm just gonna try a couple interesting things in that hole.
Okay.
First, I'm gonna try putting the stick.
Let's be mature about this.
I'm gonna try
You will have a
putting the stick
dirty
in that hole.
mind.
I'm gonna put that stick in that hole.
Eldove said that
Are
same
you?
thing on prom night. So you put,
Any interesting things happen with the stick in the hole?
I mean, no, you just touch the back of the hole with your stick.
All right, then I'm going to go get the giant stone sword and fly it around a little bit.
Okay, and you pilot this stone sword all through the woods. You feel like a big manly man.
I feel awesome. Does like the pommel fit in the hole?
Yeah, it would, but I mean, it doesn't do anything.
I want to go back to this tree.
Eldove's gonna wait.
The hangman
He's
tree?
gonna first. He's gonna
but
grab
first,
Adric.
when we're done here.
Okay.
He's gonna grab Arik, and he's gonna say, "Arik,
What's up?
something stupid might happen, so I need you on my back, right?" And he's gonna. Eldove is going to stick his hand into the hole.
How many times per long rest can you cast Raise Dead before he does this? Eldove, you stick your hand in the hole,
Yeah.
and you touch the silver in the back.
Yeah.
What is your lowest physical attribute? By which I mean strength, dex, or constitution.
Strength.
You permanently lose 1 strength.
Really?
What is your highest? What is your higher between intelligence or wisdom?
They're both the same.
Then you can raise either one of those +1, whichever one you want. These
Alright.
changes are immediate and permanent. Here's what you see, Arik. Eldove reaches to the back of the hole and touch it, and you see a shock go through him, like he was electrocuted. And he jerks his hand back, and when you look at him, he looks 20 years older. He's got streaks of gray. Very handsome, salt and pepper, in his
Wait,
hair.
am I 20 years older, or do I look 20 years older?
You are 20 years older.
All right, then I don't have streaks of gray because I'm a half elf.
How old is Eldove?
Eldove is like probably 30.
Then you're 50. You've got streaks of gray. Half elves don't have the same lifespans as elves. Half elves
Is it-
live a little bit longer than humans, but not more than like 110, 120 years.
All right, then I'm gonna de-age him a bit. So he still has streaks of gray, but he was 25 because I was
Listen,
thinking like 25 for a human.
I like that in a man. I think the gray is very fetching.
So he's 45.
He also has like really gross varicose veins, and it's like a bad back now. But he did. He aged a decade or two, very, very quickly, and he jerks his hand back out of the stump, and you feel this change. You feel infused with the life experience of having lived in the world and learned things about the world for that time, and yet your body is deteriorating with age. And that's what you feel when you touch the back of the stump. But this time, Tarin shows up with a woodsman's axe.
Gotta drop the axe. Is that did the shadows do what?
He put
I
his-
don't think we should touch trees anymore.
He put his finger in the hole.
It seemed like an excellent idea at the time.
I cast Remove Curse on Eldove?
Was that a question or was that a statement?
That's a statement.
You cast Remove Curse, but he is not cursed.
Oh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So I'm hearing we should board this up. I assume you guys actually tell me, right? Like,
Why did
So-
they
I don't know,
wait
is this
until the
still
forest
magical?
got better?
Oh, it's still magical. It's still radiating magic when Tarin looks at it.
Hey, I'm sorry. I was paying attention to the stream while it was going on. Khalil put his hand in there earlier.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I must have missed that.
Yeah.
I
no,
heard
he
I heard
totally
Clear
did.
poke it with his sword.
Oh no,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. That's right.
I heard poke.
I don't ever remember you putting your hand in
Yeah.
there. It was the
Nobody put
sword
their hand
and
in there.
Okay, then never mind. Carry on.
The sword didn't age or anything like that?
not as far as you could tell. But Eldove looks noticeably older. I mean, his charisma is still 20.
should
Yeah, that's the thing. I can't raise my charisma.
Nope.
So we should probably destroy this then.
I don't know. Might be useful to somebody.
I kind of look at him.
It would be useful to Arik. Arik could hit it a couple times and take a couple pluses to wisdom.
No.
Okay.
No.
Just a suggestion.
No.
Or bury it. It's already kind of half buried.
I mean, they've tried to take care of it already. They
I say
chopped
we
the tree
take it
down.
with us.
Which-
Take the stump with you.
Tarin takes out his
Yeah.
back blade and begins carving on the trunk. Do not touch will magically age you.
And there's now a message on the truck. Do not touch. Will magically age you.
Is there anything I can use to block up the whole, like fill it with stone or dirt or anything?
Do any of that. Do anything you want with it.
I will
Plenty
find
of-
some stones.
Plenty of wood
to,
around.
to fill the hole.
You have to leave the wood to get stones, but I mean, there's plenty to be had on the mountainside.
Okay, well that's Tarin's plan at this point.
Okay, so he's gonna fill up the hole with stones.
Be very careful not to touch any of them. He's gonna mage hand them all in.
Okay, and you roll them in, and it's now packed with stones. And it would be a hell of a job to get them out.
So Orphan is going to go back and take that stick, that yellow stick that got.
Eldove has it.
Campfire.
Eldove retrieved it and
Oh, he
poked the
took it?
silver with it.
No, he put it back.
Oh,
and
you
the tree
put it back.
man. The stick.
No, no, I still have it.
Oh, yeah, I
never
thought you
mind.
put it back. Oh.
So yeah,
The stick didn't age either, huh?
no.
Well, now that I've gotten a short rest, I'm gonna cast Fly and take a look at that Hangsman's tree from a decent distance. But
Put your marker where you actually investigate it from.
okay,
We all go with you, by
this
the way.
is above the canopy, right? This tree is the tallest.
Well, the canopy varies
Okay,
as it goes around.
where is there? He is. It's gonna be like out here. Again, if it's
Can't
I
see
get
it
the
from
impression
there.
it's quite a bit. Okay,
Yeah. I mean, you can only see it from inside the clearing when you go in.
so it's lower than the rest of the trees. I just thought this was taller than everything else. So
It's
if I'm
taller than
flying-
most of the trees. Yeah, you
Right,
can
so if
fly,
I'm
but
flying
you
and
can fly
above
up
it-
about 50 feet. The bodies are dangling about 30 feet from the vines. But I'm keeping track of where you're moving to.
I'll cast Mage Hand and see if I can't use it to free any of these bodies.
It's very easy to do so. I mean,
Yep.
the vines themselves don't break, but if you were to grab them and shake them, like the skeletons, there's no cartilage holding the joints together, you'd shake some bones free that clatter to the ground.
Yeah, I'll circle around and do that at least.
Okay, that seems relatively awful. Now there's a pile of bones at the base of this hangman's tree.
And
It's just worse now.
not sure what to do about this one. Maybe
I
after the
like
corruption
that we
stops.
completed the adventure and we're still fucking up. This is great.
I'd like to write a message here too, but I have a feeling I don't want to be that close to it.
If you want to write
No.
a message, I can just mage hand it in.
Oh yeah.
Into where?
Okay. I'll go down to ground level and I'll take out a knife and mage hand it over and sit and put a message in the tree. We'll strangle you. Do not approach.
And you carve it in. We'll strangle you. Do not approach.
And I'm gonna do it.
And this
here.
message is very clearly
and
visible
here.
behind all the bodies already hanged from the tree, strangled. What I'm saying is there was already a warning in the tree, and you guys didn't heed it. What makes you think the next motherfuckers that come through here is going to read your message and be like, whoa,
That's
let's
a good point.
not go near that tree?
Tarin, underneath that message, write no treasure.
Yes. No. Good idea.
He writes no treasure. And you carve all over this tree.
Is the tree mad at all? I'm not a fucking druid. I don't know this shit.
Yeah, you have no idea if the tree's mad or not.
I know it's Fey.
There is a Fey presence from inside the tree.
Can you check to see if there's still a Fey presence there after we've killed the undead?
Sure, I'll cast it as a level 2 spell. I'll just keep blowing spell charges.
And there is indeed.
Yep, still there.
Okay, so we have to do something about that eventually.
What else do you guys want to check out in these
Well,
woods?
if the forest is getting better, maybe the Fey presence will get better.
Maybe we can burn it later.
From Tarin's perspective, the petrified stuff is interesting, but I don't know what to make of it. We never saw that Hydra Zook fought, huh?
You did not see anything like that Hydra, no.
Hopefully it'll just die off. Now that the forest is...
Well, what Ben told you is that all the monsters would hunt outside of the range of the mountain, as though they were not able to stay within the confines of the mountain. And that they were all known to die very swiftly.
Yeah, Tarin, that's pretty much it for Tarin. At this point, his biggest interest is getting a new set of armor made.
Okay.
Eldove wants some pearls.
You have one. It's worth 150 gold. We rolled for it, remember?
Yeah, we want some more.
So you guys return to the quarters? Back up the mountain?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll report into the monk.
Rick, check your messages.
Check my messages. Oh, goodness.
Oh, God.
I will say that is the one bummer. Like, I don't mind it for learning what an item does, but it's such a bummer that I can't cast Identify to see what magic effects are.
The answer to your question is no. You can't.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and open up chat then. I'm actually connected with chat with IRC today, so I can go back and read through the session. So I never get to do that while running D&D. Hi guys, how's everybody doing? What's up, chat? We can do some downtime actions. That's like the end of the adventure there. I'm just going to take all of the treasure in this forest that you never found, and I'll just throw it in this big pile.
We found all the fucking treasure. I don't know what you're talking about.
You very didn't. There is so much treasure.
No, there isn't. I don't believe you. Prove it. You
prove it?
Prove it to me. Yes.
I don't know how to prove it to you. Like,
exactly, yeah.
What would you consider proof?
Tell me what we fucking missed in this forest.
Actually, yeah, before you tell us that, did we ever go back and check the gold coin thing?
Nope.
Oh, we didn't.
Yeah, let's go check the gold coin thing.
Okay. David,
Tarin
this is Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. This is the new one.
Tarin will indulge Eldove's insanity.
Okay, so Eldove, what do you do when you go back to the clearing number 8?
I'm gonna go to the part of the wall that the gold coin was near.
Okay.
And I'm gonna look around.
Look around. Roll at me a investigation check.
Can I help on that, since I am indulging this insanity?
Yeah, you can aid him. He can make it with advantage.
Yeah, make it with advantage. You do that.
I don't know.
No, you do help. My first one was a 14.
Oh,
that's right. Yeah, you don't help. His first one was a 14.
So what was the total?
16.
16. Searching around, now that you're pretty sure there must be something here, and you're looking, you think the gold coin's laying on the ground. Your first thought is looking around the ground to see where it might spilled or been dropped from, and your gaze turns upward, and you look way up in the tree, and you see dangling from a very thick part of the branches a foot and a leather strap.
Alright, well, he's dead, and I'm not going to give a shit, so I telekinesis him down.
Okay. You send your telekinesis up, and with some rattling, the body falls out of the tree along with this satchel. This leather satchel with 2 leather straps, one of which was broken and hanging down. The other one was wrapped around one of the branches of the tree.
I turn around, and I look very smug as a free action. And I
Bitch, I brought you back from the dead.
Next time,
Don't
leave him
get
dead.
smug with me.
If that's his guy, he's gonna act. Just leave him dead.
Go get smug with me.
And you're holding the satchel.
Anything in it?
Yeah, there's lots of stuff in it.
I want to know what's in it.
86 pieces of gold. 7 pieces of platinum. A broken and empty flask, a metal flask, bent really badly in the center.
Yep.
3 wax candles with runes inscribed on them.
Okay.
A black dagger that has a crossguard that resembles a cloak. So if you hold this dagger, it looks like you have a cloak draped across your hands.
Okay.
A pair of dice with elven numbers on them in a fine wooden cup.
Okay.
And a ring with an incredibly lifelike eye in place of where a jewel would be.
That shit's creepy.
It's very, very creepy.
Yeah, shit's mine too.
Yeah, you can have the creepy eye ring. That's all you.
Unfortunately,
anything
Tarin's
else?
not there, so you can't know if it's magical or not.
Anything else on the body?
Just old, ratty, and tattered clothes.
Alright. I'll use my telekinesis. We'll bring him back. We'll give him a proper burial.
Okay.
You mean burning?
Give him proper burning.
Unlike the other millions and millions of bodies you found here. This
one
one
gave
got
me
you
shit.
paid, so...
Yeah, this one gave me shit. He can come back. He's probably some sort of noble. He deserves
I
a
also
burning.
like that Eldove took the long way out. He went through the whole forest.
Now wait, actually, he can't go out that way. Because
Yeah,
if you
he
go
can.
out this way, you walk next to the hangman's tree. So 2 thorn
that's
vines
true.
come left. Yeah.
Alright.
I'm
You
assuming
guys-
he went
Didn't
this way.
you read the warning?
I assume he
Well,
went
the
this
warning's
way.
a lie now, because there's treasure now.
Orphan goes this way. She just doesn't go through that thicket.
Right.
Alright, what else didn't we check? What was in that cool boulder in 6?
It was just a moss-covered boulder. Nobody actually did anything more with it than that.
Alright, I'm gonna head over there now. High off of treasure finding. And, Arik, you sticking with me?
Of course, buddy.
Hey, roll a perception check.
Is sight-based perception?
Actually, this would be investigation, not perception.
Okay.
Whoops.
I'll
Because
get
you're
you
actively
shit to help
searching
me
the
with
area.
that.
Investigation. I'm much worse at that.
But you can aid him, and he can make it with advantage.
All right, I'll aid him.
As long as you're helping, he can make it with advantage.
I'm helping.
If you're only pretending to help, he does not get advantage.
20.
Okay. You investigate the area very thoroughly, walking circles around the little clearing, and what you find is a large moss-covered boulder.
Alright, I'm going to attempt to push the boulder over.
It's way too heavy.
How heavy?
Way too heavy.
Like, greater than 1,000 pounds heavy?
Much more.
I'm gonna set up a lever and use the power of simple machines to add leverage to pushing the boulder.
What tools are you using to do this that you have on hand?
Yeah, you've got to get something under the boulder in order for the lever to work.
Well, I can dig underneath, right?
You can. I mean, the soil's nice and soft.
Alright, then yeah, I've got, actually, I think I have a couple things that might help here.
He has a stick.
Got a stick. And I have one pretty rock that I picked up 1,000,000 years ago that I can put underneath this boulder.
That you're not going to be able to get leverage off the tiny rock. You're not going to be able
I
to get
look around.
Nothing you can carry on your person would be large enough to get leverage on this rock to pry
What
it
about
up out of the
something
ground.
that carried 1,000 pounds?
No.
Alright.
You would need tools far in excess of what you have, or magic far in excess of what you have, to move a boulder this size.
In that case, we'll move on to the next thing.
It also doesn't burn.
Next thing that was cool was number 10, a stump.
Didn't we do this already?
Yeah, you stuck your hand in there and aged 20 years.
Oh yeah, that sucked. Let's go to number. Let's go to number 11, a petrified tree.
You walk into the clearing, into the copse of trees, and The tree, the trunk itself is still petrified, but looking up at the highest reaches of it, you see where some of the leaves are regaining color. And they're turning... Actually, it's probably getting on into evening by now. It's probably starting to get dark. But you can see they're turning color and starting to blow in the breeze. Only a couple, and only at the very, very highest reaches of the tree.
Well, that's quite nice. Alright. Anything else besides just being a tree?
What do you mean, anything else?
Like, it's just a tree? Like, there's nothing interesting about it other than being a tree?
I mean, it's turned to stone,
petrified?
Mostly. It's... Well, it
Alright.
depends on what you
Stone.
do with it. What are you looking at it very intently?
Yeah.
Because its physical appearance has not changed.
I'm gonna send my owl up into the tree and see if it sees anything.
And you send your owl up, and you, like I said, you see some of the leaves at the highest branches of the tree are starting to regain color and become unpetrified.
My owl says to me, well, that's very nice. Arik, I think we've reached the limits of here. Maybe we should come back and check out this tree in a couple days, but
Sounds good to me.
let's get out of here.
Did we get all the treasure now?
You did not. Okay, so you're getting out of there.
It's number 6, man.
Which one is number 6? Oh, yeah, the boulder.
Number 6, man.
We'll get an engineer. We'll bring him over there. We got a dwarf friend, right, that we brought back from the dead? He owes us a favor.
So, downtime.
Yeah.
How long are you guys going to hang out on the mountain? Well, let's skip that question. Let's go to this. What is the next objective?
Actually, that dwarf friend idea seems pretty good.
Should we be getting back to the ship? 'Cause
Funny
we've been
you should
gone-
ask.
We've been gone a
Eldove.
while.
You're still in contact with the prince daily, yes? You've been keeping up? The latest message you received from Humber, the morning after your fight in the woods, exterminating the Death Zerth down in the cave. Humberth praises you for the good work that Captain Tarin's ship has been doing up and down the coast of Dunfoss.
Yeah, by the way, a couple of those words. Ask Court Wizard, magical aging cure?
So that's your response?
No, that was the part of the message about the forest.
Okay. Well, this is going to be tomorrow before he gets a response. But yes, he tells you to pass on his words of praise to Captain Tarin for the excellent job he's been doing up and down the coast near Dunfoss.
I pass on the words, not just to Captain Tarin, but to everyone. Everyone gets to get good words.
Yeah, so Tarin, Eldove relates to you that apparently your ship is out capturing pirates.
I guess I'll do a sending to Balin.
And what do you say?
What?
Received word that ship is attacking pirates. Good work. Assuming that it's you, please respond 25 words or less.
He's done this sending so many times and he still gives instructions. I love it. The response is that, I mean, I'm not going to sit down and type out 25 words. It's along the lines of the men were getting restless, they hadn't seen treasure. Swent thought it would be a good idea. And so Swent kind of commandeered the first mate position, riled the men up, and he feared there would be mutiny on his hands if he didn't acquiesce. When they all found out that you had that writ of privateering, there was money to be had, and they decided to take the ship out. Because it had been docked at Garrison this whole time.
That seems
No,
fairly
Yeah,
reasonable.
that was fine. I was
Yeah,
actually
that's fine.
considering sending them orders to that effect a couple of times.
Okay.
I just never got around to it.
That night, not that night, the second night, Orphan I would like you to please make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Your DC is 18.
Wow. I don't think I'm going to pass that, but let me try. I do pass that.
You do
Just
pass
barely.
it. Okay. You have a terrible nightmare. And the nightmare is this gargantuan creature, this huge skeletal monstrosity with 3 large arms. And you find yourself on a small stone platform. Like a boulder just hanging in space. And around you are silver points of light, far in the distance. And this monstrosity lumbers towards you and reaches out with its arms. And as it does, you realize that all three of its arms are torsos. And the tips, instead of hands, it has heads. And the three heads are of Adric, Warwinax, and Traeger. And then words boom into your mind, very, very loud. And the words are, you lost them, I sought them out, now they're mine. The night after that, Tarin, you have an identical dream, and you can make a wisdom saving throw.
Can I make an Arcana check here? Or do I need to make an Arcana check here?
You probably do not need to make an Arcana check.
I fail the wisdom save.
So you know you take damage and you don't get the benefit of the long rest.
He takes psychic damage as well.
It doesn't really matter how much damage it dealt to you.
No, it's like 3d6, and yeah. I resist psychic, but he takes the same amount. But yeah, that's not the point.
No,
Warlocks don't need long rests.
And Zook isn't here because he's off in the nether space, but he had the dream on the first night. All three of you saw it. And the message was the same each time. You lost them, I sought them out, now they're mine.
But this, and this
Glad
was
I'm not having the dream.
This was not the state that Eldove saw them in when he died.
Nothing like what Eldove saw. Eldove saw them encased in those strange bubbles, but they were difficult to make out. They were very far away, and they didn't show any signs of awareness.
I'm gonna go mention it to the Ferdak.
Okay.
Because I wanted to see him anyway to make him a gift of the prayer rug from the Githyanki, I assume it was.
That I'm assuming you would have done as soon as you got back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he accepts it, and he tells you that this was a prayer mat used by his comrade Nodal when he arrived here in the beginning. And Nodal died shortly after in a raid on the mountains. But he didn't die immediately. He wanted to go off and die alone. And apparently he chose to end his life in that forest. And he can only surmise that the corruption overtook him from there. And he thanks you for the gifts.
And I say I have another question for you. It's been weighing on me for some time.
Okay, what's that?
And I thought that you of all people might be the best one suited to answer, since you founded the order, essentially, that I serve.
Okay, what's the question?
The question is, in all of my adherence to the way, I've always believed that you should be true to your nature. That a thing's nature is what it is, and you can't hate it for what it is, and you can't deviate from that. And so, when I learned of my own nature, that of a Tiefling, I've been trying this whole time, ever since I joined this world, to find out what is a Tiefling's nature. What should I be true to? And all of the Tieflings that I've met have been very different, and I can't figure out what I'm supposed to be or how I'm supposed to act.
And he responds. He says that he's confident he's met many more Tieflings than you have, and he's never known any of the two of them to have a singular nature. It is the nature of Tieflings to be different from one another.
So, what would your recommendation be?
He says he's not sure he can answer that. Most of the Tieflings he knows seek their own path, strike out for their own identity, for their race has none. But he cautions and says, since he's arrived here on Trennis, he's learned that the Tieflings of this place are very different from the Tieflings in the places where he came from. So he apologizes. He says, this is an answer you may have to seek on your own. I'm not sure that there is one. He says, you spoke of the village you went to and spoke to the Tieflings there and didn't like what you heard. The Tieflings of Trennis hold no appeal for you, then you'll have to look elsewhere.
Well, there's wisdom in that. Thank you for the honest answer.
He says, thank you for the sweet prayer, Matt. Mock's body, you guys burned it, got rid of it.
Yeah.
Did you report to anybody else what happened?
Thordrin knows about it.
Well, yeah, Thordrin does, but he hasn't told anybody.
Okay.
He said nothing about it.
I would guess I would tell Ben at some point once he's recovered.
Okay. First of all, Ben seems... I mean, when you tell him about what happened in the woods, he seems pleased. Like, you guys are the first ones who've gone into the woods and come back alive, essentially. When you tell him what happened to Polonius Mock, he kind of gives an indifferent shrug.
Mostly alive.
He says, I'm glad that Brother Arik was able to save Thordrin and Eldove, I guess. Would that he were there when my two brothers were killed by the creature brought by the great banana. Okay. Who else has anything else for downtime?
I originally had wanted my dreams to be, I'd wanted them to do a dream reading on the actual dream of, with the keys, but I don't really think that's all that necessary next. In fact, I think maybe what we should do next is maybe go after Gendred.
Wait, wasn't that our plan this whole time?
Yeah.
Did people not want a dream reading of the horrible nightmare y'all just had?
Oh,
I think we got that.
You might not. Oh, I'll explain. That was a spell. That's a pretty nasty spell. It's something I can do. It's it mostly is intended to interrupt someone's rest, but it can also be used for messages, mostly threats.
I'm gonna
Cool.
mention to Tarin, not as a suggestion for what to do next, but just so he knows, because I know he has an interest in someday returning to what's it, Romneus, the continent?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll mention to him that something is up with Nalkantar. Like he's corrupting people out that way.
Okay. Huh. Well, next time we're in the city, we'll have to deal with that.
That was a dream reading I got.
Okay. One more last thing happens of note while you guys are hanging out on the mountain. Cube, who has been given instructions previously to catalog all the people and their backstories and all sorts of other minutia, as he goes through this task, he becomes much more aware of himself as an individual. You note that he starts answering when people refer to him as Cube.
Mm-hmm.
And so one night, while you're gathered in the quarters eating your extremely tasteless gruel, except for Eldove, whose gruel tastes magnificent, Cube comes up, and he sits down next to you, and he's getting much better at sitting down as well. And he says, this one has a request. He says, this one thinks it would be prudent if he were to be named.
Orphan gets out some tables.
You don't like Cube? It's descriptive.
What name would you like?
Cube says, it is this one's understanding that mortals do not choose their own names. And this one has come to understand that it is mortal.
Those are both true statements, Q.
So again, he requests, this one believes he should be named.
Tarin is going to say to Eldove over the mind, like, why did we waste the cool name on the Shield Guardian?
What did you name the Shield Guardian?
Weldon.
Yeah, Weldon.
Tarin's just going to sort of sit there and stop and think for a few minutes. Any ideas? I'm talking to the rest of the group, not to Q.
Eldove's a good name.
Name him Eldove Jr.
I'll say I have a table of names if you'd like to roll for it.
Table of names.
Wait, do you have 6 names? Could we roll cube for it?
Well, Orphan looks at Cube and is like, his sides aren't very clearly marked. I don't think that would work.
I ran a Planescape game once with a Modron NPC that a couple of devils had painted like a die, and they were using him to gamble. They'd snapped his arms and limbs off, and they were throwing him around.
Wow.
That's fucked up.
Devils are fucked up.
That's so awful.
So do you want me to randomly determine Cube's name?
No, absolutely not. He's a Modron cube. We're not going to let you randomly determine his name. That's offensive.
It's offensive.
It's like sacred to me.
Alright, then here's what we'll do then. We can let my Twitch chat decide Cube's name.
No, that's even a worse idea.
I think
we're not doing that.
This is a
We are not
fantastic
doing
idea.
that.
Absolutely
We are not
not.
doing that.
What do you guys
No,
in chat
no.
think? You guys want to name the cube?
The guys in chat don't get to decide whether they get to name the cube. They can't be trusted with naming a pigeon, never mind an awesome NPC.
Cube has another inquiry. He inquires about a book he saw his master using quite often, a very special book that he would read in the library that was not kept in the library. He's not sure where it was kept. And he says that he feels it's important that he carries his master works, and asks if they would travel back to the tower to retrieve this book.
He wasn't with us when we got the spellbook?
He didn't go up to that
No.
floor with you.
He
He
wasn't.
insisted he was not allowed to climb those stairs.
Was he there when I broke it out?
As
'Cause
far as I know,
learned
he's
some rituals from it.
he's never seen you with the book.
Actually, you know what? What we should do is we should look in that book and pick one of the bitchin' spell names for Cube. We can name it Morninkainen.
We have... Chat wants to name him Pigeon.
No.
No.
We are not
We have-
naming
we have-
Cube Pigeon.
Someone suggested Brick. Someone suggested Cub.
I personally love Orange Army. We should name it Orange.
We have Balcano. I like Balcano. So, yeah, he makes an inquiry that he feels, now that he has a better understanding of what it means to be an individual, and he sees the understanding of good works and labor, understands now the nature of dying, that mortals eventually die, which led him to understand that his master is now dead, and there's no one to continue on his master's good works. So he's asking to travel back to the tower and retrieve the book so that he may do so.
I look at Eldove.
Eldove doesn't care. He'll take out the book. He'll say, "Hey, Cube. Guess
And
what?"
Cube asks for it,
Eldove hands it over.
and he takes it. And so next session, Cube will have 1 class level of wizard.
Okay, so he's straight up. I think we should keep naming. I think we should give him Cube as his name,
I like Cube as his name.
I kind of like
Yeah.
Cube too. But we should wait
and we'll say,
for...
Cube. Listen, some names are descriptive, and we feel like this name suits you best. Just look at Horned Orphan over there.
And he looks at Horned Orphan and says, "Yes, this one believes he understands."
For what it's worth, Cube, your full name might be multifaceted tetrahedral, but we call you Cube for short.
And you see instantly, like, his eyes click open, like that made perfect sense to him. So we're sticking with Cube, like that's his...
Cube is an excellent name for Cube.
It is. We like that.
So I am going to give Cube a class level of wizard. Now that you're giving him the book.
Okay, so if he gets into a fight with us, does he get to gain like accelerated EXP and become like a bitchin' wizard?
I'm
my
working on the
God.
assumption that you're not going to be taking Cube adventuring with you.
No, we
No,
might
but
be.
That's a
I think-
terrible assumption.
Yeah.
No, but you could cast our identifies when we come back to the ship.
That's true.
And he gets XP that way, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's a terrible assumption because
So-
I can absolutely see us Kang and Cube adventuring with us.
I could totally see that too.
Now, see, Mr. Scribble says we should name him Sphere. Because then
this is why
he would learn
That's
about
why we
irony.
don't give chat naming privileges.
Yeah, that's why we can't trust them.